Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my Rarest drop series where I take your submissions and otherwise scour the internet for the rarest possible drops in old school RuneScape. Now today I have another awesome set of images that I found or were submitted to me. Some of these are very fresh too, like from today. And one of these players actually made RuneScape history today by being the only player to ever receive this drop. So once again, if you think you have any of these submissions beat or otherwise received an epic drop you want to show me, feel free to go ahead and send me an email, send me a message on Discord, which there'll be a link in the description for, or even hit me up on Twitter. Doesn't matter to me too much. Now in general, I'm going to be putting these in a bit of a loose order. It is definitely a subjective order. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get started. Okay, now first up here we have a player by the name of Dodsbosse. Now this player was doing some corrupted gauntlet when they managed to get pretty much everything in one single kill. Okay, they could have got the Blade of Salvador instead, but still beyond that, they got exceedingly lucky. And not only did they get the Crystal Armor Seed and the Crystal Weapon Seed, they also managed to get the pet. Now normally when you are doing the regular gauntlet, you only get one roll on the unique table per run. However, since this player was doing a corrupted gauntlet, you do actually get 2 rolls. So they rolled to get the Crystal Weapon Seed, which is 1 out of 50. They rolled to get the Crystal Armor Seed, which is also 1 out of 50. And in the exact same run, they managed to get the pet, which is 1 out of 800. Altogether, bring this up to about a 1 in 2 million chance of happening. Also, considering this player only has 47 corrupted gauntlet kills makes this even better, as the higher your kill count is somewhere, the higher chance you have of something rare happening. So I do also like to take into consideration the amount of time they spent there when I'm judging whether I should tell them to go fuck themselves or not. Okay, so next up here we have a really interesting collection log, and there's a couple things we need to unpack. Now one thing I want to note here is we don't really know 100% if the Draconic Visages are coming from Vorkath or another dragon. It's very possible that they didn't come from Vorkath, but let's have a look at this anyway. So this player has 158 kills at Vorkath, and here's what they managed to get so far. They managed to get the Vorkath pet in under 158 kills. They also managed to get the Skeletal Visage, as that's not dropped anywhere else. And they also, well, I guess they're a little unlucky on Vorkath heads, and there's also 2 Draconic Visages in a log. Now these things are really rare from Vorkath. The Skeletal Visage is 1 out of 5,000. The Vorkath pet is 1 out of 3,000, and if they also manage to get a Draconic Visage, those are 1 of the 5,000s, which makes this collection log ridiculous considering, I have more kills than this person even. And all I have is a stupid little Vorkath head. And then next up here we have another really recent one from Sins of the Father. Now when the quest went ahead and released, I was up in the morning, did it as soon as possible, rushed over to the Firewatch Sentinels and started killing them, and I killed 500 of them overall and didn't see a single drop. Now this player here managed to get 3 blood shards in 12 kills. Now we don't know the exact drop rate of the blood shard yet, but the wiki is guessing it is around 1 out of 1500, which is not very common to be honest. On average, the amount of time it would take you probably to get 3 blood shards, 30 hours maybe. At around 150 kills an hour, it's going to take quite a long time to even hit the drop rate once. However, like I said, this player managed to get 3 in 12 kills, which is absolutely ridiculous. Just for perspective here, if these were actually back to back to back, that would be about a rate of 1 out of 3.3 billion. Obviously they're not, so the rate is going to be much lower. But that just really puts into perspective how lucky this player was, especially as this was pretty close to the release day and most likely did not have a very high kill count at the Firewatch Sentinels. Now next up here we have a user submission by the name of Rvrse, who is doing some challenge mode Chambers of Xerac. Now a lot more players are doing challenge mode right now because recently they added in the ancestral set recolors with the Twisted kit. Now in the single kill, this player not only managed to get the Twisted ancestral color kit, but they also got the Metamorphic Dust, which is one of the rarest items in the entire game, not necessarily just because of its rarity, just more so to do with the fact that not many people are doing challenge mode raids, at least until recently. Now we don't really know the drop rate on the Twisted recolor, but we do know the Metamorphic Dust is 1 of the 400, so both of them are most likely extremely rare. And the reason this is actually ranked so highly is just boiling down to how hard challenge mode raids are and how long it actually takes to get a kill count here. For example, if the Twisted recolor kit is 1 of the 400, that would make this drop chance about 1 in 160,000, much lower than these other things, but considering it takes nearly an hour to do it, makes this actually much rarer than just the pure numbers would indicate. Okay, next up here we have a player by the name of Ben's Pure, who went to go do some cave kraken, and while they were doing it, they managed to get the kraken pet, and then in the subsequent kill managed to get a second kraken pet without ever banking. Now the chance of getting a back-to-back pet is pretty ridiculous, Even for the Cave Kraken, which I think is a bit more common than other pets at 1 out of 3,000, getting these back-to-back has a chance of happening at around 1 out of 9 million, which I think might be enough to trigger me slightly. This player was at kill count 3,600, which means they've done their dues enough to get one pet, but it looks like they got twins. Okay, next up here we have probably one of the best possible collection logs for the Chambers of Xeric. Now in 59 kills, this player managed to get 4 Chambers of Xeric drops in their name, which is already a little bit lucky, but nothing unheard of. But look at what they managed to get. Of the 4 items they got, 3 of them were Twisted Bows. And if you consider that the Elder Maul is also at the same rarity as a Twisted Bow, they essentially just hit 4 Twisted Bows as their first 4 items, which is insane. Not only is that 3.5 bill in rewards they managed to get, I believe in the Reddit post they said 2 of them were actually solos. Personally, I don't think I've ever seen anyone get luckier than this while they're learning the Chambers of Xeric. Like 59 kill count is not that much. A lot of players don't even get a split in that many kills. Okay, so now we're getting into the top 4 here, and here's where you can put these in a lot of different orders. These are just my personal favorites, but this next one here might actually be number-wise the rarest drop of this episode. Player managed to get back-to-back Abyssal Daggers. At first glance, it looks rare, but we gotta really take into account a few things here. Now, these were obtained from Abyssal Demons to begin with here, and the drop rate of an Abyssal Dagger is extremely low. The drop chance is 1 out of 32,000, which is one of the rarest in the entire game. So just getting a single back-to-back Abyssal Dagger drop actually has a chance of happening at around 1 out of 1 billion. 1 out of 1 billion 24 million, which is astoundingly rare. I think it actually is the rarest drop of the episode, but these next 3 here I actually just kind of like more for other reasons. So yeah, that is the only reason it's rated a bit higher, but still not to take anything away from this. Very few people in the history of RuneScape have ever gotten a drop like this. In this case, we don't know for sure, but I would not be surprised if you're the only person to ever have this happen. Okay, next up here we have a drop by a player named Lekker Pilz, and this has to be, or I would have said it was the luckiest Ironman of all time if it wasn't for the next submission on this list. But there's a few things that actually impact here, so let's have a quick look. Now first up here, this player is an Ironman, so getting any drop is already going to be a bit more impactful and more meaningful than main account. Oh, but look, have a look at their inventory and the drop log here. They actually managed to get a Armadyl Chain Skirt as well back to back. And if that's not enough, they managed to get it on kill count number 1 and 2. They literally only have ever done 2 kills at Armadyl, managed to get 2 of the best drops for an Ironman, and even they managed to get in the proper order as well. The chest body being the most valuable and then the chain skirt. Now there has been back-to-back God Wars items quite frequently, but very rarely, if not ever, have I ever seen anybody have it on kill count number 1 and 2. You only get 1 shot at that. Now the actual drop rate number of getting this is going to be much lower, but we got to keep in mind that it's on kill count number 1 and 2. That is so ridiculous, and that's why I put it so high up on this list. Now until I woke up this morning, this player was actually going to be in the number 1 spot, so you almost made it if it wasn't for a last minute development, which we'll get to in a minute. Let's have a look here though. Now first up here, this player is 71 combat. They are so low level, the fact that they even completed a raid at all is insane. They only have 61 hit points, 46 prayer, which is already a really low level to complete a raid at all. Obviously they did get carried through pretty much, and most likely they were just doing it for the diary. But look what happened here. On their very first kill, they managed to get 1,792 personal points. That is pretty pitiful, but I mean, they did get something. And you know what they got for that? They managed to get the rarest drop in the entire game pretty much. They got a Twisted Bow as well as the pet in a single kill. With only 1,700 points, that is nothing. The fact that they got any drop at all is already incredibly lucky, but they managed to get the rarest, most expensive drop out of all of them and get the pet in the single kill. I think a lot of people are going to have some choice words for this Ironman. Like, to put it in perspective here, this player can't even wear the Twisted Bow. That has got to be a rare account. And realistically, I think this player shouldn't even train this account anymore. Just leave it as is. It's got to be one of the lowest combat level Ironmen to ever get a Twisted Bow or just a rage drop in general. Okay, so this morning I woke up to something truly amazing. A player by the name of enneUni managed to actually get the rarest possible drop in the entire game. Now yes, there are combination drops that are theoretically rarer than this, but this player managed to get the rarest single drop in the entire game. Now what is that exactly? It is actually an uncut onyx drop from a bag full of gems. boasting the rarest possible drop chance of 1 out of 100 million. But this has been confirmed by JK's moderator to be the only person in history to ever get an uncut onyx from a bag full of gems, and it just happened today. But this was added back in 2016, and this is the first player to ever get it. Partly because of the rarity and partly because of the content not being that useful. Not many people are actually opening bag full of gems, but still I'm very impressed. I don't think we're ever going to see this again in the near future, so congrats. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for the 10 rarest drops in RuneScape history, part 4. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I always appreciate it if you leave the video a like, and I'll see you next time.